Everyone is using AI at work, but not everybody's talking about it. A new study shows younger employees are nervous to admit it to their bosses.
Yeah, workplace expert Kelsey Warren joins us to explain why Gen Z and millennials are keeping quiet and what leaders need to know about tech and trust. Thanks for joining us, Kelsey.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So can you share maybe some of the results from this survey?
Yeah, absolutely. So the survey by Cox Business actually shows that a lot of Gen Z and millennials are using a ton of different tech tools specifically to increase their productivity. When it comes to AI, about 60% of them feel actually really positive about its use. But about 50% or about half of them actually feel a little bit nervous, as you mentioned, to admit it to their bosses and how much it's helping with their productivity. And because we have so many tech tools that we're expected to learn and use at work, about 2/3 of this group actually feel a little bit overwhelmed just by the amount that we're expected to use. And then about 50% of Gen Z and millennials feel like they don't have a lot of influence or input in tech decisions at work. So this survey by Cox Business is really important because it shows a bit of a disconnect between business and IT leaders and this group of Gen Z and millennials when it comes to workplace tech.
Interesting. Yeah.
I'm interested, how can employees and businesses and leaders just kind of better communicate with each other about workplace tech and how it's being used?
Yeah, I would definitely recommend creating and defining clear policy around AI and tech. So, this study by Cox Business also showed that Gen Z and millennials aren't really sure what kind of policy is available when it comes to AI or if their company even has one. So, making sure that you include them in the decision-making process is going to be really important. So, if you're thinking about updating any kind of tools or software, or you're looking at defining or even creating new policy, why not include the people that are going to be using it every day and the ones that are there? You're going to get better engagement and adoption from this group of Gen Z and millennials.
That makes a lot of sense. Sounds smart. And with so much technology and the rate at which it's changing, how are IT teams keeping up? What are some of the biggest concerns there?
Yeah, so a huge challenge that this survey found is about 60% of Gen Z and millennials are actually using their personal software and devices to get work done. And about 50% of them actually say that their personal devices are faster and easier to use than their workplace tech devices. So this is creating quite a bit of a challenge for IT teams and leaders, and it's actually called shadow IT. So without any visibility into these personal devices, it can be hard to predict or prevent any outages that may come up. And of course, a good solution is going to be, like I mentioned, creating clear policy around AI. But another and almost better option is to partner with the experts in the managed IT service space, like Cox Business or RapidScale. They will come alongside the IT teams and help predict or even prevent any kind of outages. And they're just going to be an overall better partner for these IT teams, especially when it comes to shadow IT.
Okay, yeah.
Now let's talk about ensuring employee well-being and burnout prevention. So what do you have any advice to kind of avoid that tech overload and employees feeling just overwhelmed?
Yeah, there's so much to consider, but when it comes to future-proofing businesses, it's going to be important to make sure that you have the right people in the right roles that are managing IT and tech in the workplace, and that you're developing the next generation of leaders in this space. But even beyond that, I mentioned, communicating and including this group of Gen Z and millennials in the decision-making process, and that is going to be important. But more importantly, is communicating with them ongoing and making sure that we have a pulse on what's working well, what tools they may be using in their roles. And if you fall into this group, if you are a millennial like I am or in the Gen Z era, you want to make sure that you also feel empowered to speak up to your leadership about any kind of tech decisions or things that you might have ideas about or challenges that you're facing. Because when you do this, you're not only able to better advocate for yourself, but you can also position yourself as a leader this way and build trust in your organization.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for your time. I think we have a website that we can bring up. What's that website we can go to for more details on this, Kelsey?
Yeah, so for more on this survey from Cox Business, you want to go to coxblue.com/workplace tech survey.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Thank you.
Absolutely.